Perfect. So I want to keep it more interactive. So we'll start off. It will be more conversational style rather than anything. So if you have been working on products, what do you think is actually a hook? We can start off with that conversation.
I think hook is pretty much that will pretty much your consumer, they wanted to use your product service. Yeah.
So what one thing I realized is most of us understand what a hook is, but identifying the right hook makes all the difference. So there are a couple of apps or websites which don't need a hook. For example, your banking app does not need a hook. Whenever you want to do a transaction, you just go ahead, log in, finish the transaction, and come out. And these days, nobody is using their bank account. Also, everybody goes to Google Pay or Phone Pay or anything and just get it done. If you're in India, and just get it done, and you get an SMS from the bank. This much money has been debited or credited. So we all don't go back into using the banking app. But we'll spend some time to clearly articulate what a hook is. So hook basically is the engagement plus retention plus creating that habit in the consumer for them to use our app or platform or anything like that. So it becomes very important. I have seen. I'll give you a live example. Day before yesterday, I was doing a small engagement with a startup in Melbourne. So these guys have launched a product and they've hit 71,000 impressions in about what do you say in about 30 days. But unfortunately, none of them translated back into a sale from their platform. So that's when they came out, they asked a question in one of the communities, and I took it offline and I was having a little bit more conversation to understand what happened. So they are a new startup, they're a new company. They went ahead and launched all their offerings on day one. So, what happens when you are a new startup and when you are launching your app or anything like that? What happens basically is we tend to confuse the end user. So, it's always best to go with your core offering to begin with so that the engagement continues and then slowly start opening up other areas. For example, if you see WhatsApp started as a messaging tool, but over a period of time, they've started incorporating many more features and into the platform over the last 10, 12 years. And even today, they're evolving. Today also, I think I saw there are a few new features which are being launched on WhatsApp, collage, a photograph collage, and things like that. And you can create your own emoji out of your own photograph and things like that. So even now, they are releasing new features. So it becomes very important as a startup or even a large organization to find out what the hook is. My previous organization, I mean, the only organization I almost worked for 13 years, even though they are a $40 billion company, they never went or they never go to new market with, uh, with all their offerings. They go with their core physician offering and then they start building over that. So that's why hooks become important, and many people look at hooks but miss out on how to create that engagement. So today we'll look at some examples and see how it all runs. What are the models you can use to create your hooks and things like that? So first one is you drive the habit of the person. You reduce the churn and increase the retention, create differentiation for your product when compared to any other. Reduce your marketing spend, definitely, because once you have a consumer coming back regularly, your marketing spend for that person comes down. So that makes a lot of difference in terms of how you differentiate from the other products in your product. And the last but not the least is royalty. Now, hooks need not be features also. It can be building a community. It can be building anything. It can be a hook. For instance, for what I do, these monthly sessions are more for me to connect with more people, get to know, understand what's happening in their, experiences. So this is the kind of a hook for me, to meet with people or engage with people or hear stories and incorporate them into whenever I do a teaching session or whenever I do a consulting, learn about the problem. So I don't share ideas of anybody, but I share the problem and the experience. So that becomes a hook. So why you should create a hook? Why is that important? So basically, you are highlighting a motivational factor for the user. You are offering a trigger for the person to interact with you or your product. You orchestrate a hook cycle. So hook cannot be open-ended. It has to have a cycle. And that's when it comes to, I'll give you a fantastic example after the last one, and keep them coming regularly. One of the best hooks in the recent times is Figma. So how they started launching the platform, they don't have an app. They went with a web browser. They said, you go ahead and design whatever you want on our website. It is free. Just log in and start using it. And you can share it with your friends and team members. But when the moment you want them to also start contributing to your idea or your design, that's when they start making you pay. I mean, you have to pay for this thing. Otherwise, you can use it free. So you're hooked to that whole aspect of the initial interaction with the platform. And over a period of time, once you start getting used to it, you don't mind paying the $10. Hey, I'm getting a lot more things done, and I want more space, or I want more pages, or I want people to contribute to this. And that goes on to engaging and bringing in more people. So Figma is one of the best examples of an amazing hook and a product-led growth strategy. So these two combinations is Figma. So whenever we design, we need to identify what that emotional connect would be. So if you are a startup or an entrepreneur, there is an emotional connect for the problem for you to solve it. Why should others come and start using it? I mean, if you look at Microsoft Word or Apple Pages or Google Docs, OneNote, I mean, all these things are documentation platforms. But the hook, what it is the number of people who can more easily use. So if you look at any of the documentation platforms today, everybody allows you to export as a PDF. So PDF is a good hook for you to start using them, because you need not think about, hey, how am I going to share this with other people? If I'm writing a Pages document, not many people use Pages. So how do I share it? I export it as a PDF. I export it as a Word document. Anything I can do and I can share. This is the kind of hook the large organizations look at bringing you. And if you look at hosting services and things like that, the moment you start using a platform for hosting, for you to keep on adding, they first initially give you a lower tier, then you start adding on more, and they keep, and to move out will be difficult for you. So that's how they create the hook for us, for them, for us to use their product. I'm sorry about that. So a couple of examples I wanted to share in terms of what a hook is and what the components are. So in a hook, you have four components: the trigger, action, reward, and investment. Every hook has these four components, and these four components can be different also. There are few models. Vijay Rick's model talks about something else, and a Try model talks something else, but the intention is the same. So if I may ask, what do you think is a trigger for you to use WhatsApp? Anyone?
It's just easy to message to
Okay,
and
but
it's
why?
you can
But
talk.
why should you message?
Uh, yeah, because you need to you need to deliver some message quickly instead of emails or text messages are a bit hard to share images and stuff, and you
Correct.
can also easily send messages overseas.
Correct. So earlier days, SMS, we didn't know if the person received it or not. The mobile operator will charge us for the international SMS. We really don't know. So basically, the trigger is the notification. The notification, somebody is messaging you, or you want to message, or whatever it is. The trigger is the notification. So see, if you have become a seasoned WhatsApp user, I've seen, I mean, including me, we all switch off the notifications because there are too many groups or too many messages coming in. We just whenever we want. But actual trigger is the notification which comes, says there is a new message on your WhatsApp. And that's when we go and start using the app. It's not about having, I mean, I know 1,000 people use WhatsApp, but I know also 900 people don't even see the messages or respond. And predominantly, it is not their fault too. So, for example, if you are in a group, messages keep coming regularly and you can't keep track. And one good day morning, you'll have 100 messages and we don't go up and see. So that also becomes, a roadblock for you to you go ahead and use the app or be on the platform. So the first trigger is the notification. The way the product looks at what my hook is, the first one is the notification. Your action is going to be open the app. What is the reward you're getting for opening the app is an emotional satisfaction. Somebody messaged me, or I messaged somebody, they responded, they saw, they didn't see, whatever it is. All these things are more emotional satisfaction points for from a product perspective. From the company's perspective, this is what they're taking care for us. And investment is your identity. Today, anybody we talk to, first thing is, hey, what's your WhatsApp number? Right? We are more and more on WhatsApp, and we're getting identified through the groups, and somebody will introduce somebody on the group. So for example, I posted this on a couple of groups and you saw it and you said, okay, let me attend this, and you join. So this is how the hook is looked at from a company standpoint. You look at Duolingo, a very different app, and most of you must have used it. If you look at what their trigger is and what their action, reward, investment is, it's a little different than what we see in WhatsApp. The trigger is, if you have used Duolingo, I'm sure you know, if you allow notifications, the first thing every morning it will say your streak as it is at risk. I mean, the moment you see it, your psychological, hey, what is it? What is it at risk? And then you open the app, right? And when you open the app, they say, hey, anyway, you're here 5 minutes. Do you want to learn 2, 3 words and get going and do your work? And you get hooked to it. I say, okay, 5 minutes. Let me learn 1, 2 words which you were wanting to learn, and move away from the app. And the reward is, the more and more you're learning, there is a leaderboard which is there, and it keeps the graph keeps going up. So it's a personal emotional satisfaction. Hey, I'm also learning better than others. Or I mean, if you have friends who are on this thing, you know, hey, I'm doing better. I spent 15 minutes today. I've learned something new. I've learned a new word. I can communicate in this language now. I can understand this word now, and things like that. And what's your investment are the streets. So Duolingo made the learning very, very interesting by breaking down into streaks, right? A small component, what do you want to learn about? What is the objective you want to look at? What is the communication you want to do? So you can break that and learn according to it. The more and more streaks you do, the more and more you're learning the language. So Duolingo's approach for learning is very, very different. All of us know we want to learn, we want to enhance our knowledge and things like that, but we don't. I mean, I'm not in a mood to open the book. I'm not in a mood to do this. I mean, all of us know, you go to any bookshop, we have to learn Spanish in 21 days, learn Kannada in 21 days, learn Arabic in 21 days. These books are there, but we don't read them. So that's what Duolingo was addressing, and that's how they became such a successful app around the world. And I wanted to take an example of TikTok because the more and more I'm seeing, I know in India we've not used TikTok in long time, and I never signed up before that. It moved away. But more and more I talk to people, more and more I see that they're getting a lot more benefited with TikTok rather than Instagram. Instagram is more India, I mean, around the world they use. But if you see the number of people who have been generating more money, or they're able to sell their services or whatever it is, I think TikTok ranks one, and Insta then comes in the second place. So if you look at the TikTok thing, they start with, I mean, it's a long time I used. I did see the app on a friend's phone when I was out of the country for a few weeks ago. And they start with the whole concept of you went viral. And how did I go viral? That's my question, the first thing which comes. And you go in, actually, it can go viral. Somebody went viral. And then it starts. I mean, unless until you are a serious TikTok user and you have been posting videos and things like that. Then you open the app and you start swiping for the stories and look at various stories. And with every every swipe you do to watch a new video, you have some kind of surprise coming up along with it. I mean, it can be you won something or you're hooked to something, whatever it is, a small surprise. Somebody you are following has posted some kind of a new surprise. It throws you out. And what it does at the end of the day is create that interest in you for you to create videos rather than just go ahead and see videos. I'm sure all of you use Instagram. I don't know how many times you felt whenever you open Instagram, start seeing reels. I don't know how many times you felt that, hey, I should also do a video and I should post it, right? But TikTok is something which makes you do that. That's what my friends were saying. The moment you start seeing these videos, you also feel like doing something. That's a secondary issue. They do it or not, but it makes you feel that. Somehow on Insta, I don't feel that. I post it, I scroll through a lot of ads, and I just move on. That's about it. So these are a couple of examples of hooks from successful products which we use every day in our life. Now let's go in a little bit more deeper and understand why hooks are a priority. It was the same thing what I have written earlier. I'll repeat. It drives the habit, it reduces churn, creates the differentiation, reduces marketing spend, and brings user loyalty. If you look at, I don't know if you're using Luma or Meetup or any of these platforms, every region has adopted to a certain kind of product. For example, before I started these sessions, I asked on my LinkedIn and a couple of places, which is the best platform to post online sessions. And predominantly, I think 80% said Luma. But the same thing, if you look at Australia, it's meetups, right? Luma is also used, but meetups. So they are more Meetup, and Meetup is more like you build your community on that. So there are certain restrictions. I use both Meetup and Luma, and I've seen restrictions on Luma. For example, in meetups, you can build your own community and you can converse and things like that on that community, ask questions, answers, little conversations can happen. But on Luma, you can't have those conversations. But another challenge with Meetup is if you want to create a community on Meetup, you need to start paying from the first community. There is no free. I mean, you can just start off, and after that, after 10 members or something like that, you need to start paying. But as in Luma, I can do one email communication, they call it blast. So I can send a message. For example, yesterday I sent out a blast. So like that, you can do a blast. That's about, I can't build a community. For building a community, again, I have to step out. So it depends on what kind of interaction I want to do with my audience. I have to decide the product. But I can't bring Meetup here, and I can't force you to say, hey, come on, be on Meetup and let's start communicating on that. No, we are more of, from a cultural standpoint, we are more of WhatsApp and more of, a Luma kind of a mindset in this part of the world, which is not harm. Everybody has their own comfort zones. For instance, in Australia, they don't give out the personal numbers for WhatsApp immediately. You need to know the person and things like that. Then you can ask and then you get. Otherwise, it's not so easily given out. But here, our approach to mobile is different. We first go to WhatsApp and get connected and start going. So the differences of cultures also come into picture. But again, it depends on what your objective is and what your drive is, what kind of community you want to build. You choose the appropriate platform for you to start bringing in people. Moving to the next one, there are, as I mentioned, there are a couple of models associated with creating hooks. Now, hooks is just not scientific. I would say 60% is psychological, 40% is science behind creating hooks. That is why people who invest in understanding the human psychology, user psychology, their products, even though they are dumb, will get going on a long run because they understand how to bring the people to them and get their product to be sold or provided to be serviced. And trust me, I mean, it's not that I've known anything or something like that. I've been doing this only the last 2 years, trying to, put myself out in the world, building my reputation. So I experiment with quite a few things. I lose out with 99% of them. 1% gets hooked and gets going. So one learning I have taken is these sessions. I know this month I did, but I want to fix that and put the calendar for the next at least 6 months on a particular third Saturday of every month at 10 a.m. So over a period of time, it becomes psychological to my community that, third Thursday morning, 10 o'clock, there should be some event and let me join. And these are a couple of things which I've seen which are working globally. I'm part of this couple of Slack channels worldwide, and I see their meetups happen on a certain day at a certain time, unless it's something very big and they can't do it that day. So these are the hooks for creating communities and getting your message across. So let's look at some of the models. How many of you read the book Hooked? I mean, you could raise the hand. I can just see. Nobody? Okay, I will highly, highly recommend. Please read Hooked. It's an amazing book which dwells a lot more deeper into understanding the psychology and creating a hook and things like that. So basically, this model is coming from the book Hooked. So what are the steps? What are the steps associated? What is it? What does it mean? And let's look at it as an example. What is the trigger? So trigger, action, reward, investment. That's try, right? What is Karthik, good one. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hook you a lot. Correct. It doesn't hook you immediately. You have to look at it more like a textbook, right? Roger Preston, Doctor Engineering will never hook you. So you just go back to it as a reference, and you whatever chapter you want to revise or look at it, you look at it. Yeah, hook does not. It will not hook you according. I mean, in terms of finishing the book and things like that, there are much more better books than that, which can do a lot more. So, yeah, coming to the try model, this is what Nir Soyal focuses completely in that book. So, what causes the user to interact with your product? What is that emotion? See, we tend to discard this thought process. See, Swiggy is built on an emotion. All these hypermarkets, yeah, e-commerce marketplaces, they're all built on an emotion, right? There was a fantastic article I was reading the other day, how the Swiggies and Zomatos are adding to the obesity in our country. Right? I mean, we might not see because culturally we are not an obese nation. We are more active, and we don't go overweight for unnecessary reasons by eating. Even though we eat junk, we walk or something like that. Now, coming back, these are built on an emotion called convenience and laziness, right? Why convenience and laziness? See, When Swiggy and Zomato were not there, were we not ordering food? We were. We were ordering from the same restaurant. We'll just call that guy will deliver. But predominantly, if we are bored, we'll go to another restaurant, we pick it up ourselves and come. That's one approach. And groceries, we used to make time once in a day, twice in a week, or whatever it is. Go ahead and bring the groceries home. So the whole emotion of these hyperlocal or e-commerce marketplaces is cap- capitalizing on our laziness and convenience. Yes, at times we are busy, little conveniences adding, but it's leading to a different aspect. So, to what to make convenience, or I mean, is increasing the laziness in us, and we're not keeping our mind and body healthier by taking the 10 steps to get to the grocery shop and bring something and things like that. So these are built on that. So the emotion is very important. So if you're looking at a product, any product you're building, it can be even a game app, no problem at all. There is an emotion connected to that game, right? Something the user is seeing to go back to the game and play. If you look at Candy Crush Saga, right? I never played, but if you look at, I see so many people in station, railway station, bus, metro, flight. People are playing Candy Crush Saga. You know what their hook is? The colorful balls. That's about it, right? Nothing more than that. Just pure time pass and the colorful balls. You keep pulling them in a line or whatever. I still don't get that game. But yeah, I know people spending hours and hours playing just Candy Crush Saga. So that's the hook they found out. And that those colors, what you see on the screen of the game, is not by chance, it's by design. So I was doing this research, and I was trying to understand. I'm trying to understand how I could reach more people on LinkedIn. Okay, so I've been asking all the AI tools, Google, reading, trying to understand. There's one guy who gave a very different insight. He said, try to work on getting a visual or a color convey your emotion. Now that's very interesting. Red, we all know, is an emotion, danger. Green, we all know, is an emotion, and he argues in this way, right? Green is something anywhere in the world we see a green, that means it's green to go, to do whatever you want or whatever. Red is danger, right? Orange is proceed with caution. I mean, that interested me. I said, hey, this is a very nice way of doing it. Then I started playing around with the words. I went to ChatGPT and Claude and places like that. Started asking for each of the activity what I do. For example, I do product strategy consulting. I teach product strategy. I have a couple of online courses which I sell on my website. Uh, how do I communicate these things? And I had to play with everything. And if you go to my LinkedIn, the banner is the color board. Finally, it came out with the code. It said, if you are trying to, help somebody or work with somebody to better their offering up, you should communicate in that way. And it's not orange. It's called it called me some. It gave me some color, but it gave the hexacode. I used that on Canva to see and play it on. That's how the color came. So there are everything is an emotion. It's just that we need to capture that emotion to translate that to a hook. I don't know if it works or not. I just uploaded it 2 3 days, but let's see how. Nothing but why the person should come to you. It can be a product, it can be you, it can be me, anybody for that matter of fact. Why should we come? If the same session, if probably Tim Cook was doing, there'll be a million people attending the session. But who is Hari? What is Hari? What is his experience? It translates back into the number of people I reach. Over probably 10 years down the line, a million people will attend. But all I'm saying is, I also have to make a lot of commitment to understand how and what I should convey and communicate so that I can reach more people. So that's the emotion which goes with it. So example is Instagram, right? we're bored. We don't want to see WhatsApp, Facebook. Nobody is using these days. Few people spend time on Twitter, but I spend time on Twitter. But I spend time on a couple of groups on Twitter where I can take away something, and I avoid listening, seeing any of the streams of politics or anything like that, which come conversations. This is happening there, that is happening there. I try to avoid that. So Instagram is one of the most you frequently used tool for playing with the boredom. You start seeing reels and shots, and then you some shopping and all that stuff. So one of the trigger of emotion for Instagram is your boredom, right? What what is the action? What is the simplest thing one can do to start engaging with your product, right? I mean, even to let's say you're building a telescope, right? What is the simplest thing a person has to do to start using a telescope, right? That counts as it. So tap to watch stories on Instagram. You just tap, you watch the story, keep scrolling, keep going down. If you want more information, you can click below and it'll give you more information. That's the kind of an approach. What's the reward? What's the instant payoff the person is getting from watching the stories? Is I'm getting to know what my friends are doing. My friend has bought a new house, or traveling on a holiday, or sitting somewhere in the location, or they had a professional success, something or the other. I get to see what my friends are doing through their stories, and I see when I scroll down, I see more of the feed from various people and various sources. And what's the investment? What's the investment the person has to make? What is the return I'm getting by using the Instagram platform? Likes, follows, and identity. People are looking at me. That's what the social media influencers usually do. They are, I mean, they hook you with that emotional content. So all of us, I mean, in fact, I've been really struggling and I'm failing. I'm trying to build a YouTube channel, but I'm not able to create the appropriate hooks for people to come and subscribe to my channel and growing my channel. So it's the experiment, the moment we get to that point, and it doesn't happen overnight. And this needs practice. It's very easier said than done. I've heard so many people saying, "Do this content, do that content." Fantastic, but what I'm trying to offer for me is unique, right? And how do I? What is that emotional connect for the 10 people to come and subscribe to my channel, and what is the value I'm giving to them? That's where I'm struggling with. I keep experimenting and I'm struggling with. Probably the day I nail that, probably I can do a video and share it with everybody. So that's what big error of Instagram. So in short, this is the Nir Eyal's method, which he talks about in his book Hooked. The second model is the dopamine loop. Now, dopamine loop comes with more of emotional perspective, right? And that's where it differs from the regular try, but it's the same approach, the same four steps, which you, what is the cue, what is the craving the person is looking for, and what is the response my product or service or whatever is giving, and what is the reward the person is getting to. If you look at with an example, the cue is an environmental trigger called boredom. Most of us go through it. At times we are bored, we just don't want to do the repeat task every time and things like that. So boredom comes first. That's the environmental trigger. How do I address this boredom, right? Watch some short videos. I can go to YouTube, I can go to Instagram, I can go to even Facebook also has, even Google also has. If you go down, there are videos you can keep scrolling up and down. So watch some short videos, right? The habit behavior. How can I make you come in more? See, we are going or using Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or any of these channels which give us short videos, we are going there because we're bored. But the moment we are going there, they are making money because their videos are getting more views and they're making more money out of it, right? So these are powerful examples in today's world where an emotion called boredom, it also translates into money for somebody. So if you're bored I'm making money out of your boredom. So we have to go down to that level to look at what's that emotion, what that happens. And second thing, I have to be careful when I'm buying or when I am capitalizing on your boredom. I also need to ensure that I don't bore you with my app, right? So I have to give you new content. I have to give this thing, or identify what your interest areas by the way of which videos you're watching, which videos you're scrolling down, right? For example, if you open my Insta, predominantly you will say you will see tech product advertisements because I keep looking at what is the new tech and things like that. That VPN. So I click on those ads which have technology incorporated. So I see more of the tech ads rather than anything else, right? And what is the benefit that gives that behavior for that behavior is basically you show content which hooks me to your product, which are of interest to me. So first of all, I'm bored. I want to do something different. Then I opened your app. I started seeing short videos. Then I'm like scrolling through few. I'm seeing the full video. Then you understood what my pattern is, what I like, what I don't like, and then start putting in videos together. Your algorithm starts bringing videos together of the ones which interest me. For example, if somebody wants to buy luxury goods, we usually go and search on Google or we go to OLX or something like that. People who want to buy some branded, let's say Louis Vuitton used bag or something like that, we go there. But there is a platform in India called Retag, right? They more go ahead and show, I mean, they're more focused on the emotion of wanting to buy a luxurious product, but at a cheaper cost. They use that. I use the same example in my next model, in the Vijay Fog model, because that goes with the definition which comes there. The Vijay Fog model is basically behavior is equal to motivation, ability, and prompt. B is equal to mapping, right? So how do you identify the motivation? How can you sell to that motivation? And how do you capture that motivation? These three things you put together is nothing but the behavior, the way I react. I'm frustrated on the road for because of the traffic, that's a different reaction. But if I'm enjoying my music or whatever, having a conversation on the phone and things like that, that's a different behavior. So all these things are nothing but science, right? This is where science steps in for creating your hooks. The moment you understand how your consumer is utilizing, in today's world, it's not very difficult because you have too many tools which can capture this information and give it to you the way you want to look at it. So that's what happens here. So let's look at the example in the BJFIG model. So you're looking at behavior, motivation, ability, and prompt. This is where I take the example of Retag. The action you want the user to take: open an app. The desire to perform that behavior: buy brands for less. So I don't want to spend a lakh on a bag of Louis Vuitton, but if somebody is used it and wants to sell it and I can get it for 20,000, I don't mind investing on it, right? How easy or hard? And trust me, this is not easy. This is very hard, right? And what's the prompt you're showing, the trigger which creates the behavior, right? Need for shopping. I want to shop, but I don't want to spend a lakh, and I want to spend little bit more lesser, but go ahead and use the same brand. So it's like emotional satisfaction for me. This is where Retag is creating that experience. You can buy used luxury products for a cheaper price on their website. So if you look at the whole perspective of all the models, everything subscribes back to the emotion. That's why I said it's more of a science rather than just identifying a hook. Hook is not something which is like, okay, if I make the user show this beautiful color, the user would buy. For few people, it works. For few people, it does not work. And we want to buy an Apple product, we don't go to their website. I mean, even if you go to the website, they have beautiful, tempting pictures which make us feel that we should buy them, right? But we usually don't go there. We go into a shop and see and feel it and then buy it. So this is where the difference comes. More of psychology and science and less of actually a hook which can, you can think of the product and that works. The moment you understand the psychology of your user, so that's why any product you want to sell, we need to look at it from the user standpoint. If I go back to my example of my last week conversations, why, I mean, if you look at all the offerings on their website and what there is some hook which happened. So there were 71,000 visitors to the site, but nobody bought it because there should be something which failed. The hook was fantastic, but it did not stick to the user who came there, right? It's like having a fishing hook. The fish is, I mean, you're able to catch the fish, but by the time you pull it out, the fish is falling off the hook. So there is something going on. So we need to identify what that is in order to understand how we can hook people better. And there's another example. Somebody was talking, the first month they had 45,000 visitors to their site, and only they could sell about 10 or 15 products. So basically, what this company is doing is you have an idea of any product, they do the 3D printing and give it to you. You pay a price and give it to you. And if you want, you can put the design on their website and they can sell it. Somebody else wants a similar kind of a stuff, they can buy it, and you get a small revenue cut, and remaining goes to the company which is hosting the platform. The idea is nice, but how many people would really want to invest in buying? So we need to find those kind of users who are wanting to go and do something with 3D printing and then do that. I hope it's going okay till now. Any questions or anything you have which you want me to address about? All right, so I'll continue, and we can still. Yes, Karthik.
I think this is something to do with only B2C, right? I think in B2B world, this may not be that relevant.
So, Karthik, see, hooks are for everybody, right? Even B2B. See, okay, let me put this as an example. So today we have so many hosting services, right? They're selling for individuals, and predominantly they're selling for corporates also, right? There, the money is there, not with the individual subscribers. See, I mean, for example, Haplo, we host on AWS and DigitalOcean. I pay them 8,000. I don't think they're living off the $100 I'm paying on as a user, right? They are more interested in companies which give them thousands of dollars monthly subscription rather than $100 subscription. Hooks are for everybody, but we need to structure the hook properly for a B2C segment and a B2B segment. It's the common.
Got it. Yeah.
Right. Personalized hooks, which is the predominant way it wins, right? No stopping and time disappears when you're doing the infinite scrolling. See, I mean, Karthik, I'm coming back to your question. See, I'm sure most of the times it happens to us. See, as a simple example, it might be human to human, but the whole system works like that. You go to, we want to get some work done in a government organization. Yeah, I know it's government, but even if companies want to work with the government, there is a hook called "What is in it for me?" Right? The company or the private player has to take. It's not a plain simple. I'll pay the fee and I'll get this done from you. No, there is something else. I mean, it might be an immoral hook or whatever it is, but there will be a hook somewhere which happens, and the business keeps going to that company, and all the revenue. These guys make good revenue from them. So there are elements of the hooks which are part of B2B and B2C. We might not see it from a naked eye from a B2B standpoint, but I'm sure and 300%. I mean, I personally have experience because I did consulting for one large company, and I knew how they were dealing with the government, what was the hook, and how they were taking care, and things like that. What's been done, what's been, I mean, a luxury holiday for the family and everything. That's a hook, and that guy will do it. I mean, it goes into a negative aspect. You may want to call it bribery or whatever. All we're talking about here is how do I capitalize on the situation to make money, or how to get the business. So that's a hook. I mean, moral or immoral, that's a hook. Couple of other examples for amazing hooks which have been created till now. Nespresso machines. Their hook is your morning cafe. I know it's not in India. I would love to buy one when it comes to India. Put the capsule, switch on the button, and your beautiful espresso shot is done in like 5 minutes. So you have amazing hotel standard kind of an espresso shot done in 5 minutes. That's their hook, right? Kinder Joy, this is another fantastic example. They put it at the exit counters only, or near the billing counters. The parents are holding the kids, and kids are fiddling around, fidgeting around, and they see a Kinder Joy, colorful, pick it up, and the parent has to buy. And once they open, there is a surprise and things like that, and it's huge amount of sweet. That's a different story. But yeah, that's a fantastic hook which was created by Kinder Joy, and it's become a very, very huge success. Lush soaps, yeah, they exited India, but Lush soaps, the experience, I mean, if you have visited the Lush stores when they were in India, the whole experience is about aroma, the kind of aroma which hits you, and all the time the aroma will be different. So one day will be a different aroma, one day, other day will be a different aroma. There were 1-2 times when the aroma really attracted me and go into the shop and buy something soap or something and come back. But predominantly their success is that bath ball, which will be of your liking. You can customize it, and the smell is your liking. Drop into the bathtub and relax, and it's the sensory relaxation what it gives you, and that makes all the change. So Lush is another great example of a successful hook what they've created. Lego, I mean, all of us know it. I mean, it's relaxing time but yet productive, and gives you the sense of accomplishment when you have built it. I think at times I feel sorry, I'm not getting the furniture brand. So it's same, follow the instructions and you build your own furniture. But I think Lego was more successful, and these guys are taking a lot. IKEA, sorry, IKEA is a different kind of hook. I mean, they tell you follow the instructions, make it yourself, and keep it at home, whatever you are purchasing there. But Lego has reached out to kids and everybody, and they had more success than that. But I think the first ones to create are the IKEA. KitKat, this is a fantastic example of a psychological hook. Whenever anybody talks about let's take a break, I mean, I know we talk about chai or a coffee, but have a break, have a KitKat. So it's become more of a psychological hook rather than anything. But Nike, I know their logo is just do it, but nobody talks about it. Let's just do it. It doesn't resemble Nike. Nike is Nike. That's about it. But KitKat is one brand which could translate their caption into a hook. Whenever we're talking about a break, we're talking about having a KitKat. So that's one of the success part. Vodafone, I think this is an amazing example. Wherever you go, our network follows, right? I mean, all of us know they made a huge impact everywhere in the world, but today it's a different story. But yeah, it's as simple as that, right? They had a park, and wherever you go, our network follows. It's become so synonymous in our minds that it's very emotionally connected. I mean, I had a Vodafone number till last month. Finally, I moved it off from them and moved on to Jio because I had a family plan and I wanted to get there and moved it there. But otherwise, for 22 years, I had a Vodafone number from the beginning they came to India. So pretty much that's what I wanted to share in this session. Any questions or any points of conversation you want to have? I think we are on time, 11. Yeah. I don't want to eat into your personal time on a weekend, but anything you wanted to have a conversation. My LinkedIn is here. You can connect with me. My number is there. Message me, call me, whatever it is. And I need one favor. I'll send a small survey post. No, I didn't get the pug, but I have a golden. I have a golden retriever. I don't have a pug. Thanks for asking, Karthik. So I'll send out a short survey. If you can give me your, suggestions, comments, what I can do better, where I can get better, that will be amazing. So anybody has any other questions? Good. Thanks, Lokesh. All right, then please let's be connected. Let's have a conversation. And I look forward to having you in my next month's session too. And this time I'll publish the calendar. I'll publish the calendar so you can choose which subject interests you. And if you have any ideas for any subjects, please let me know and I'll take care of that. All right. Have a wonderful weekend and I'll see you guys soon. Thank you.